everybody, and welcome to Life in Panels, an OtakuNET Original Series. I am your host, SentinelSeiyu, aka Aaron, and I'm, of course, joined by the lovely
JT, aka Jason.
And we are glad you're joining us today. We've got another great episode for you, filled with all things weeb, otaku, nerd, and geeky. So grab your favorite anime character plush or all of your anime figures and get ready to enjoy another episode of Life in Panels. It's been a long time since we've seen each other.
It's probably 2 weeks, right? Yeah, 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's been about 2 weeks since we've seen each other. So
there were some stuff.
Yeah, there was some stuff. So there is a bonus episode that is coming out in conjunction with this episode. Hopefully, if Aaron can get all of that done in time, we'll see. That is coming out soon, so we're really excited for that. It has some saucy opinions, and it is definitely 18 plus. So do be aware.
We definitely we get into some harsher topics, I guess.
Yes, it is an anime podcast, and sometimes anime takes us in a very interesting direction. So again, we want to make this as family friendly as possible. SentinelSeiyu went off the rails a little bit in that episode. So we're glad you're joining us back here again. It is, of course, we're recording this on July 31st, so there's some topics in here that are probably a little bit outdated by the time you're hearing about it, but we'll make it work. Of course, to start off the show, this is not in our notes, so this is going to throw JT for a little bit of a loop. But we are just sending our thoughts to those who are affected by, of course, the earthquake. As many of you know, there was a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that hit southern Japan this week. And so, again, all of our thoughts are to all of the victims of the tragedy, and we are just hoping for the best, and we know there's a lot that is happening in the world, so hopefully maybe we can take you away from a little bit of that and provide some entertainment this week as we dive into some fun stuff. So we just wanted to send our thoughts to all of those who are affected. So well, let's get into some more fun stuff here and get our minds off some stuff. So I'll let JT take the floor and see what he wants me to talk about.
Well, first thing, part of the reason why we were gone for 2 weeks is one, because of the episode that will that you're gonna have to pay for. No, it's because it's not family friendly. It was also Aaron's birthday.
It was.
How was that?
It was good. I did not do anything too crazy this year, but I did get to see some friends I haven't seen in quite some time. And we got to go out and have a nice dinner over in, I'll just say we got to have some nice dinner over in St. Paul. And I went to a wonderful Japanese place that I was suggested by a friend of mine I always wanted to check out, and it was pretty good. Although what's really funny about it is I got a message from the restaurant that said, oh, by the way, our air conditioning just went out. So you get some free drinks, but it is going to be a little toasty. And honestly, it really wasn't too bad until like towards the end of the, starting to heat up a little bit towards the end. But we got free drinks out of it, so I was thrilled.
That's good. Nice.
So that was fun. But no, I had a wonderful time, and it was my golden birthday, I guess, as well. I think I can say at least that much information without doxing myself too much. Who knows? You guys probably already know where I live, and that's
okay. Aaron, it's just more information that shows, Aaron is unk.
I know, I'm old now. I don't know what to say. I know. I'm like, everybody's like, I'm the generation that printed off MapQuest directions for 5 million years, and so yeah, I get to be reminded how old I was. I was at the dentist today, actually, getting some lovely fillings done today because I haven't been for a year, and it shows. Get your teeth regularly cleaned every 6 months, kids. You don't want to be like SentinelSeiyu, but signing consent forms still freak me out because I'm so used to my parents signing off on stuff for me, and they don't need to anymore because I'm unk. So I got that going for me, at least. But yes, it was a wonderful celebration. I got to have a lot of friends. I got to be around a lot of friends, and that honestly is what is almost better than any other present you could possibly get. And so it was wonderful just being around friends. And I'm actually heading out to a convention here in just about under a week, actually, next weekend. So we'll be recording an episode right before then, and then one after. So that's kind of my big thing that I'm doing is I get to go to another convention. So got that to look forward to. But thanks for thanks for asking, JT. I should not be drinking something that is carbonated on the podcast.
It's fine.
Also not sponsored.
Not
We got to be clear about that.
All right. Well, from your show notes, I'd like to ask you about the Crunchyroll subscription with Amazon Prime.
Yeah, let's look at it. So, in a really interesting twist of events, that is, I guess, not super surprising for those who have subscribed to Amazon in the last couple of months or years. Amazon, of course, introduced channels as a part of their subscription service, where if you already pay for Amazon Prime Video, you can add on to your Prime Video subscription by subscribing to other popular streaming sites like, Hulu, like Netflix, HBO Max. Actually, Hulu and Netflix are separate, but HBO Max, Shudder, and some of the other kind of smaller streaming services that are coming to the platform. Of course, Crunchyroll has been a part of that too, Amazon channels. But in a new twist of events that kind of surprised, I think, a little bit of everybody, is that Crunchyroll and Starz announced this Wednesday that a new bundle for both services exists through Amazon Prime Video. The bundle, of course, is $16.99 per month and is available now through Prime Video. Of course, the regular bundle on its own of Amazon Prime Video plus Starz is $11.99 a month. Crunchyroll recently, of course, increased its subscription prices in all of its tiers back in February, which a lot of fans were not thrilled about, including myself. The company increased the fan tier price, of course, from $7.99 to $9.99, and the mega fan tier price from $11.99 to $13.99 a month, and ultimate fan from $15.99 and $17.99 per month across both the monthly subscription and, of course, as a part of the broader annual subscription, which is what that has. The fan tiers have, of course, no advertisements, simulcasted episodes, and lots of other stuff still, and fans can get extra, and mega fans, subscribers can get extra discounts on the Crunchyroll store, which as we've talked about in previous episodes, is gone fully exclusive to subscribers only. But Crunchyroll, of course, removed its ad-supported streaming back in December, which was also a huge blow to the community, and a huge blow to, of course, Sony, who owns Crunchyroll as a parent company. But this is a definitely interesting move of events to, I guess, convince people to bundle. It's kind of funny to me because I grew up in the generation that struggled with cable television being expensive, and it seems like streaming is ending up right back where cable television failed in some regards. And yeah, things are being bundled up. But if you're looking for a nice way to be able to have at least a couple of streaming services, and you like watching stuff on Starz, Amazon Prime Video, and Crunchyroll, which I can see Crunchyroll and Amazon Prime Video being a huge draw because, of course, a lot of anime is on both now as a part of the original stuff, and then Crunchyroll's back catalog. But it's a very exciting turn of events in some ways, and definitely makes people at least maybe take some sting off for those who are on Amazon Prime Video and already subscribe. But again, this is still in addition to your Amazon Prime subscription. It's not like this is a bundle like Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. It is definitely a separate cost on top of your annual Amazon Prime subscription. So I guess that's a good question. That how do you foresee this affecting? Well, I guess I should say, how do you feel about this, JT, or even just the streaming landscape?
Well, I think it's very similar to what you said. It feels like it's a lot of things. I feel like are kind of regressing to what they were, which is what made these streaming platforms desirable in the first place. Because like you mentioned cable, and like that kind of is how it was. Like you would pay for a network and you would get access to the shows, and it was these different streaming platforms. And what made these different streaming platforms more desirable was like the exclusives, like only what they had on them. And as they're bundling, I think it's fine because the price doesn't seem too bad for like what they're giving you. I think it seems pretty fair, especially with the changes that Crunchyroll is going. The changes that Crunchyroll are getting, especially with the store that we mentioned in the episode that we didn't air. But I yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much to say except for that, and kind of the ongoing joke we've said a lot too is, I'm a supporter for the age of piracy, so it doesn't affect me. But then, since you are someone who pays for it as a consumer, what are your thoughts on how it will affect the regular person? Because for me, I can understand from a business standpoint of why they're bundling. I think it's fine, but I am a little disappointed because we are like most things nowadays are just kind of regressing, like especially with like how prices are going up and like how they're choosing to do it. Even how like radio and podcast suddenly came back. It's a back and forth between each different couple of years now, so it doesn't seem like we're really going anywhere in terms of like new things. But I feel like that's its own discussion for another time.
Yeah. And I mean, I think the broader picture is that Crunchyroll is in a lot of trouble, and its parent company, of course, Sony, which acquired Funimation and acquired Crunchyroll, is in a lot of heat right now. And I think there's a lot of people who are in charge of Sony that are making the wrong decisions. And yes, that could be probably broadly linked to, I guess, more broadly linked to just how industries are moving currently and how decisions are being made. But again, this is obviously a evolution that is trying to make Crunchyroll a little bit more competitive in the streaming landscape, because we are seeing more companies who are looking to, in a lot of ways, provide more bundled services. Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN are some of the very first ones that came out. Of course, HBO Max was added along the way, so it doesn't surprise anyone that these are that Crunchyroll is taking the same direction with Amazon Prime Video. But I think Crunchyroll does need to be aware that its fans are not thrilled with a lot of the changes that have happened, from the price increases to the removal of ad-free streaming. That had been how a lot of fans got into anime, because it was the way that I started watching anime, was with a free Funimation account that was ad supported, and you would sit through 4 McDonald's ads just to watch your favorite anime. But it was a fair compromise, I feel like, and it gave a lot of fans the opportunity to, again, choose legitimate ways to watch that all parties were generally fairly happy with, right? Versus having just a specific paid option and no alternative, which has resorted to anime fans, again, looking to alternative options that are being shut down and threatened by Crunchyroll, which, again, I'm not going to speak specifically on whether the legality of that is, yes, not ethical and not legal, but I also do understand that there needs to be another option for fans to stop thinking about piracy as a option for streaming, and to, again, have an ad-supported option that does work, that we've seen proven time and time again, that provides viewers with the opportunity that feels fair to consumers. And Crunchyroll and its parent company Sony have not done a wonderful job of that, with the removal of, again, making the online store exclusive to specific Crunchyroll subscribers, which, yes, we did talk about in the bonus episode. So for those who aren't aware, Crunchyroll has now moved its Right Stuff owned rebranded store into being a subscriber only perk, which in some ways can be detrimental to the anime community in terms of providing one less option for purchasing Blu-ray discs, and cutting effectively those who don't feel like paying for a subscription off from watching the series that they enjoy, which has been a huge topic of discussion as Sony has been pulling out of physical media on its PlayStation side, with the removal of, again, digital-based discs, or of physical games in the retail stores, which we talked about in previous shows. So I think this just really does go to show that Sony is making a lot of changes here that I'm not super thrilled about as a consumer. Prices increases, yes, that happens. Nobody's going to be thrilled about that. It is a sign of all of the economical struggles that we are seeing today, for sure. But the reality of it is to do these things in a way that seems very anti-consumer back to back is what is going to make fans discouraged and frustrated. It isn't necessarily we're paying a couple dollars more per month or per year for a subscription. It's you've effectively cut off of every other means and are essentially turning into a monopoly for streaming anime in the US. And so that is the big struggle that we are seeing with this. And I understand fans, because a lot of us grew up on not having any money. I was a high school student many years ago. I didn't have a consistent income. I couldn't pay, a $200 a year to have a Crunchyroll subscription. So Funimation, that of course back then it was Funimation ad free was the only way I was able to watch My Hero Academia and still support the creators that, have gone into it. We saw the same thing happen with the death of Napster when iTunes got its first online store. It was an easier way for consumers to be able to support the artist because they wanted to, but none of us want to be gouged. None of us want to be, taken to the cleaners, as a Midwestern term, over subscriptions that we feel aren't fair. And we are falling very quickly back into a lot of the industry needing to fairly pay voice actors, animators. I don't disagree with any of that, but again, seems to be more linked back to not actually going back to those who are helping to make the platform what it is, but into the CEO's pockets that, again, have been a topic of concern across all industries, from big tech to pharmaceuticals to everything in between. So again, Sony and Crunchyroll need to take a step back and look at what fans are saying. And honestly, I just don't feel like they are willing to do that, as we've seen evident by these changes continuing to happen and these decisions continuing to be made. So honestly, we are falling right back into cable, and piracy is going to come back again, whether these companies realize it or not. That it's piracy isn't necessarily because people don't want to pay for content. There's always an element of that, right? People who can't, who don't want to sit through ads and don't want to pay. But piracy mainly has increased throughout history, quite literally because of those time periods where music industries were taking their fans to the cleaners and were charging $10 if you wanted one song. It was $10 for a CD album, or $20 for a CD album. And that is what fans are experiencing with a lot of how streaming is heading, and the removal of alternate options. Bring back ad free is the easiest way, I feel, to prevent that. It really brings fans in to enjoy the shows and really gets them to start considering purchasing an actual subscription and converting people to an actual subscription. But again, that doesn't make CEOs the hand over fist amount of money that they are wanting and expecting during this economic crisis.
I think you bring that it's very interesting, because then I want to bring up another, what I believe is a similar situation, is with Paramount Plus and the new Avatar movie that obviously has big issues around it, because it was originally going to be released in theaters, and then they had decided to pull it off of theaters to put it on their streaming platform, and fans were like, oh, well, can we buy the movie? And they're like, well, no, it's gonna stay as a movie on the platform that can be taken away at any time, and will only be accessible through having to do a subscription. And it was even more controversial when the movie got leaked like a month or two in advance, and is only now officially released on the site. And what are your thoughts on that? As obviously you're someone who's very knowledgeable, and seeing the connection between the consumers and the creators, and as someone who's an aspiring voice actor, what do you think? Because I know that a lot of people were divided, since they wanted to directly support the makers, and they don't feel like they can do that because they have no way of doing it besides going through Paramount Plus. But then that goes to the company that is distributing the movie, instead of the creators themselves, which if they went to the movies, then they could support directly. If they bought the movie, it could support them directly. And those just aren't options. And because of that, I know that fans instead pirated the movie, which also led to more issues, because now it's kind of doing the opposite. I'm pretty sure you know about all the controversy around the movie, but like I said, as someone who sees the both sides and is an aspiring voice actor, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, absolutely. And with the situation with Paramount Plus making movies exclusive to their streaming platform, has been what was my biggest frustration. And when other platforms were doing this a few years back, it was at that point where streaming was no longer, again, something that was being consumer friendly. There is that balance, there is that balance. As a voiceover artist, we want to get paid. We have bills just the same as everybody else does. I can't pay an electric bill in IOUs. So people have to be able to make a living out of this. And unfortunately, to those who really love piracy, I understand where you're coming from. We've all been broke at one point or another in life, but you are harming those creators that you very much love and support because they are making nothing on that. Now, in this age of, there is, again, just news this week that Apple has a way for you to effectively never own your iPhone through a leasing program. And in a world where you will own nothing is becoming the mantra of 2026. And as a Gen Zer myself, who feels burned by companies creating models that effectively, at the end of the day, I own nothing. I don't own any of the anime series that I watch.
You're essentially paying for the service only.
Right. When everything is leasing, I'm leasing anime shows, I'm leasing my shows, I'm leasing my tech, I'm leasing everything else. I can understand people's frustration with that. Absolutely. It's hard to not feel like the money that you are spending, you should get something tangible in return. I completely understand that. And it's the problem with, again, a lot of media creative industries. But with regards to specifically that, I understand that there should be an alternate way to watch it. Theaters are that great option because, again, theaters are an even better option for that because it's not like fans are paying just one time for a film on a Blu-ray disc and they can watch that forever as long as they have the disc. When things are in theaters, if it's theater to then streaming platform to watch, I understand that there's a natural progression to that. And if companies really want to squeeze every dollar out of that, that's how a lot of studios do it. I don't personally agree with that. Even as a VO and somebody who works in a lot of these industries, I understand they need to get paid, but let's face it, subscription costs, very much like Spotify in the music industry, we don't see a lot of that return. We see a return when you purchase a Blu-ray disc because that's what goes to fund a lot of projects and media. Subscriptions do help, but they're heavily subsidized. But companies aren't taking your $16.99 and sending that directly back to the voiceover artist. There's a cut of that goes to the streaming platform, to Sony, and of course, eventually, at some point, we get a cut of that down the road, but that is much smaller than what you actually are paying on the front end, which could even be a handful of dollars per subscription. 5, 4, 3, 2, so that it doesn't go back in the way that a lot of people think. And I understand that frustration because, where is it going? Well, it's going to Mr. CEO, which nobody wants that to end up in that hands. They want it to end up in the hands of the people who are doing the real work and are putting the effort in to make characters come to life. In the regards with the film being specifically on Paramount Plus, you are effectively removing that option. And why? Fans are, when a movie is in theaters, you go, if you really love the film and you want to go see it again, you're going to pony up for that ticket price again. Yeah. And sure, theaters are taking cuts out of that too, but that's a better option because, again, piracy is a lot harder. You're not going to sneak in. I mean, you have phones now, but there aren't a quick way to be able to copy that video as it would be on a streaming service, which have ways to circumvent a lot of things. We're not going to talk about that, of course, because that is not legal, but there are ways that is happening and ways that circumvention of that is going to happen. So you could effectively lose more through streaming than having it in a theater, and while still giving fans the option and the love who love going to a theater and who are paying probably more to go see that film when it first comes out than they ever would on a $20 ad-free subscription of Paramount Plus. So that is completely illogical to me and very disappointing and hurts people who are, again, in my situation, that are trying to convey for fans really should be paying for the stuff that they love because, that's the whole point. When we made Life in Panels, we made a version of the show that is ad-supported and free because we want to offer that to you. And for those who really love the show and want to support it, we have a paid tier for that. That's optional with content that we wouldn't otherwise be able to show because of limitations and guidelines, or just bonus episodes that we want to hand to you. But that's not a requirement. That's not a requirement to you. You can still enjoy this exact show in the way that it was intended, ad supported. If you feel like paying us for ad-free episodes, great. That's your choice. But ultimately, that's the problem. We are removing the choice from these options by having bundles that really do, again, are anti-consumer and are working against the consumer, or again, in the instance with Paramount Plus, are actively working against the consumer when they would have otherwise been more than happy to pay for a ticket in the theater. So it's really disappointing to me because it is undermining what a lot of actors and people who are out there trying to convince why people should pay for entertainment need to pay for entertainment. And when budgets are tight, like they are right now in an economic crisis, people are going to be obviously less willing to purchase things for entertainment. But at the same time, they need to have a reason why they should be paying out the ear for any of the stuff that they're paying for. And so those are the combination of factors that are leading us to where we are today. And it's really disappointing.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of it's just quick profit. Yeah, I feel like that's the mentality of it, which, like you said, it's very disappointing because, I was one of those people who really wanted to go see it in theaters because, it obviously it is an experience. It's separate from watching it on your phone, watching it at home. Like you're going out, and if you're going out, you're going with multiple people, you're going with your friends. So when I heard that it was going to the streaming platform, it really disappointing because, it's the mentality of the two different choices just changes so much. Like buying a ticket versus paying for the subscription just so I can see the movie. It's it's less desirable. And,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it's also a good point to shift into some more lighthearted stuff. The tone of this episode was a little serious, more so than I think we both thought. But one of your first video games has come into Nintendo.
Yes.
So yeah, why don't you talk about that?
So we get to have a little bit of story time with SentinelSeiyu and hopefully, again, lift everybody's spirits. Don't worry, the world is not coming to an end as much as people like to think that it is. There's still a lot of wonderful things that are happening out in the world, and one of those wonderful things is that I get to relive some of my childhood memories. Of course, SentinelSeiyu's very first video game I've ever played on the Nintendo GameCube, which shows you how much of an unk I am. Super Mario Sunshine is heading to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, which I just picked up for my Switch 2 that I just got recently. So I'm thrilled. I get to relive my experience with Super Mario Sunshine, which back in the day was kind of a bit of a mid game, not gonna lie. And as playing it through the eyes of an adult and not a 3 or 4 year old, child, I was, obviously I understood why the game was made, but I love it because it was my very first game. So again, story time with SentinelSeiyu. I was babysat by my dad's college buddy, which is kind of funny. They met at, we'll just say, the same college that me and JT had met. So basically it would be like if you were babysitting my future kid, which is bold of me to assume that I'm going to have children in the future. Running an
bold
anime
of you to
podcast.
assume I will watch them. No, I was kidding.
Yeah, and bold of you. Yes. So anyway, that's basically what I experienced for a lot of my early years because my family didn't really, that was around the time when daycare was something that was, a bit controversial and still is today. A lot of families want to raise their children by themselves because having those times in those early years are important because when your kids get to be my age, and my parents are definitely having a hard time, with me being an adult, you want to cherish those moments. So I spent a lot of time at their house, and they had a GameCube. The two older brother and sister were 3 or 4 years older than I was, and they were super into video games. And one of the eldest son was really kind of. I shouldn't say nerdy. Yeah, he was kind of nerdy, I guess. Sorry if you're listening to this somehow. So he was really into video games, and they were huge Nintendo fans, and they had a GameCube, and the first video game that I maybe didn't necessarily directly play, that was maybe clickbait, but definitely experienced at the time, was Super Mario Sunshine and Wind Waker, which is also already on the expansion pack. But the GameCube had a lot of good memories for me. That was my first experience with video games, because I was born a couple years after the system came out, so that was the hot video game system of the time. So you kids with your Nintendo Switches, no. We had video game consoles that were shapes, very cubular, and honestly very fun. Some of my favorite games.
Yeah, I had a GameCube. It was awesome.
GameCube I felt like was the best, man. I don't know. I love the Switch, don't get me wrong, but man, the Nintendo GameCube, for as little sales as it had, I stand behind that. That was some of my favorite memories. Right there, it's like the Nintendo 64, which is kind of funny because those are the two Nintendo systems, I guess, outside the Wii U, which also had some pretty, banger titles on it. That didn't do so well, but those Nintendo consoles have some of my favorite memories. At least
I think
when
the
I was a
Wii U
kid.
gets some hate, but I thought it was amazing. Honestly, I thought it was a great console, and it offered a lot of fun games at the time. Obviously Mario Kart was on it, and it offered a lot of fun multiplayer games like, Luigi's Mansion, the multiple like Mii's Paradise, where I had those games, super fun.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing too, is it's like, man, I don't know. I had so many great memories centered around, those Nintendo systems. And the Wii U, I feel like the Wii U was a little bit misguided and misunderstood in a lot of ways. There's a lot of moments where, yes, having a tablet controller was confusing, and why they would name it Wii U, and make it look like just an accessory doesn't make sense to me. Probably didn't help with sales that much. I'm no video game sales expert, but had some of my most favorite memories, and honestly, a lot of the most favorited titles on the Switch 2, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Hyrule Warriors, and what brought Age of Calamity and many other titles, really did start on the Wii U. So,
and also, if you really think about it, this looks exactly like a Wii U.
Exactly, that you can
but
take
that's smaller.
Yes, I don't have mine for an example. Mine's all the way in my basement right now, and I'm not on the basement floor. I wasn't prepared.
It was ahead of its time.
Well, the Wii U walked so the Nintendo Switch could run, and the Switch 2 could run, and there's lots of great titles for it. So I don't know. That's how I feel. But I remember following the Wii U back in 2015 because I was a diehard Wii fan when I was a kid. Dude, my childhood memories were with the Wii, and yeah, of course, man, some great titles on the Wii. I mean, everybody in their cat owned a Wii, back in the day. But the Wii, man. Great games.
No, I'd stand on I think the superior handheld device would have to be the Nintendo DS.
No, DS. Oh man,
DS is amazing. I still have my DS XL. It's awesome. Yeah, like if I really try to think about the first game I ever played, I feel like it might have been a DS game, which is crazy because I remember playing other stuff. It would either be those or those retro like joystick consoles that came with only like 3 games. You'd have to plug and plays. The plug and plays, yes.
Dude, the plug and plays were great. The Atari was wonderful. But yes, so just real quick, I'll pull up the article thanks to our friends over at thanks to maybe Aaron will have a lawsuit one day from this lovely company. Our friends over at Crunchyroll, who we just got done slandering in the first half of the show. There's a lot coming to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. Of course, a part of that is Super Mario Sunshine, but also some more Virtual Boy games that will be coming soon. So definitely an exciting stuff to look forward to. D Hopper and Zero Racers will continue to fill out the Virtual Boy lineup coming soon, but Super Mario Sunshine is coming. I guess I cheated a little bit. I do have the Super Mario All-Stars. My cousin bought an extra copy and ended up giving it to me. So it's not my first time playing Sunshine on a Nintendo handheld, but it will be the first time that it comes to the classic lineup for those who did not purchase that for its limited. It's kind of long, but limited run. That was such a goofy thing. And of course, for those who have the Virtual Boy accessory and want to play another Nintendo handheld that didn't do so hot, the Virtual Boy is getting D Hopper and Zero Racers, as well, coming in August. Looks like on the 4th, and some more titles will be coming. Super Mario Sunshine will be dropping on August the 13th, which is very exciting. So stay tuned for that. If you have a Nintendo Switch 2, you got a lot of fun games to play. Man, it came out in 2002, so yeah, Mario Sunshine was a few years old by the time I played it because it didn't come out quite it's a little bit older than I am, but man, those are some great games. And it's hard to believe that 2002 is considered old now. I don't know how I feel about that.
I wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't either. And it's like everyone's like, oh, it's old now. I'm like, oh, great. So what does that make me? And so,
well, you know what? Maybe we are old because I'm gonna share this. Maybe we are old because we knew what these were.
Yes, I know.
Yes. These are the plug and plays that me and SentinelSeiyu were talking about. Great memories.
I have that exact Atari one. I think it was like a gift from a family friend. It might have been the same family friend that I'm thinking of. Who had the GameCube back in the day. And man, those are some great times on there playing Asteroids and Breakout. Oh man, those are those like horrible Atari
spaceships.
Yes.
Well, moving on to our next topic. You know what just the animes we've been watching recently. We can start off with you. And I know that you had one on here, An Adventurous Daily Grind at age 29. So how is that show, and how do you feel with being close to that age?
Yeah, well, thank you for that. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, you're getting older, buddy. You can apply for AARP pretty soon. Actually, I was
you're technically 2 years older than me right now.
That is
technically.
Good.
In a couple of months, it won't be, but for right now.
Yeah. He's 1 foot into the grave already. Great. Well, thank you for that, JT. I was at a family gathering and I said, I look at it being turning 23 that I'm one more step closer to the senior menu. I think I was out to eat somewhere with some family members, and they did not like that very much, considering the fact that they are a little bit older than I will say for now, because they listen to the show. And I do not need to get absolutely destroyed at my next family gathering. So, but yes, Daily Adventures Grind at age 29 is something that I've been checking out this week, or at least in the last couple of weeks. I finished the series this week. It's interesting. It's kind of funny as somebody who is known for a certain anime series that we apparently found out.
We're not saying.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
We're just gonna leave it there. We're just gonna leave it there.
I will just say I am watching through it just to stay current, to be clear. It is part of my job here on the show. But yes, Daily Adventures An Adventurer's Daily Grind at age 29, which is isekai titles, and now we have alliteration involved. Was an interesting series for me. It has its moments. There is a lot of weird stuff though in the show that honestly just don't make sense for the types of the content that's in it. I don't think it's a bad show by any means, but I absolutely understand why people were giving it a 6 on my anime list. And there's a lot of moments of just really awkward flirting, we'll say, because we are a PG show, that just feel really misplaced and really just there for fan service. And I don't really understand why it's there. It doesn't serve any other function other than making the main character, this, again, 29-year-old talking to literal children, very strange. So honestly, be forewarned for those who are definitely have that as a complaint for a lot of isekai series. It falls really well in line with a lot of those anime and traditional isekai.
You have been warned.
So you have been warned. And I thought, again, the story surrounding it and a lot of the teaching moments about overcoming a lot of struggles and wanting to basically get out of poverty, which is apparently the entire concept of the series, was very meritful. But again, those moments really did kind of detract from the overall show, I feel like, and could have very well done without. And it is just very awkward. Especially in a series that has kids, and I will leave it at that. So definitely do be warned. Not a horrible series, but definitely one of those isekai slop titles that just really make you question why these are being turned out so quickly. So I got that to look forward to.
Yeah, so we're gonna move past before we get canceled, before we get restarted.
Yes, exactly.
Well, maybe we'll talk about my shows. I've been.
Yes. I have horrible taste in anime. What can I say?
I don't know. Continue.
What have you been? No, yes. What have you been watching this week, JT? You probably have better taste than I do.
I've been watching, obviously, the shows that we mentioned before. I've been keeping up with Demons of the Shadow Realm. I've been keeping up with, Welcome to Demon High School, Iruma-kun. It's going to a great point. I've been watching a show called, I forgot what it was, but it's essentially Samurai Troopers.
Yes, I've heard. How do you like that?
I think it's pretty good so far. It's a pretty, I like that it's a continuation off of like an old like 80s 90s show. So I think that's awesome. There's a lot of like background context behind it, and I think it's just really fun. One of my favorite aspects is how they fight by singing like anime songs together, or just songs in general. So you'll just see like five samurai singing like a K-pop or an idol song while while coming at you, and I'm like, that's awesome.
That sounds pretty fun. Oh man, that's great. Yeah, that's reminding me of, speaking of Iruma-kun. That's reminding me of the lead in Iruma, like from the Harvest Festival arc. Yeah. So okay, I have to check that out. It's on my list, and it's actually was the next thing I was gonna get to. And then I found out there's some other shows that came out, and so it's like it's pushed back in the queue a little bit.
Well, how far have we gotten into One Piece?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, not.
Have we gotten into episode 6?
No, I have not. I have done a horrible job. But what's really funny is I was digging through a bunch of screenshots. I needed to find something for a bank statement recently, or some weird adulting thing, and I came across a screenshot from 2 years ago when I was traveling through Nebraska of me watching episode 3, and I think that very might have been the last time that I watched One Piece. And so I'll have to send that screenshot over. It's pretty funny. But yes, I am doing a horrible job. So maybe by the time I actually will get to saying, hey, I should probably pick back up One Piece, they might actually have the more like, the condensed version with the filler removed. And maybe that I will check out. We'll see. But no, I really do want to get to One Piece, and I'm gonna have some more time on my hands coming up pretty soon because nice. I'm going to be finishing out some stuff. So I am excited.
Finishing out some stuff.
Thrilled to hopefully have more time to actually sit through One Piece, because it is a great show. Not gonna deny you on that one. Better than my taste in anime, apparently, which will get me put on the watch list.
And since we're on that topic, yesterday, July 30th, Toei Animation turned 70 years old, and I see they have a video linked.
Absolutely,
should we watch it?
Well, I do not want to get demonetized by Toei because I did not get clearance for that, but I do want to say happy birthday, Toei Animation. And for those who don't know what Toei does, they make they make the very famous series, like maybe you've heard of it, Dragon Ball. Yes. So Dragon Ball is one of the most notable series that Toei is known for, but they've made lots of other shows over the years. Speaking of at least I am not 70 yet, JT. So I'm not quite as as Toei Animation.
But you're closer than me. No.
Great. Thanks. So yes, very exciting stuff. On July 30th, of course, me and Toei Animation apparently share a birth month together. So that's fun. I didn't know that. Cool. And that is really sick. So it turned 70 years old. So it is well into its retirement age. It could collect Social Security if it was a person.
It could.
That's great information. So so very exciting stuff. Toei again provided a cute little video kind of detailing how how they've been working on animation over the years, and how it has moved from, again, a majority of it being done by hand, which it still is today, to as computer assistants over the years, since the beginning in 1956, which was a long time ago. That was before my dad was even born, so sorry, Dad. No,
I gotta bring someone else to take the heat.
I have to talk to the family, of course. Hey, I didn't say a year specifically. I just said before 1956. That's a pretty big range. So, they have to do some guessing. I'll have to do some field work on that one. So, very exciting stuff.
All right, and I want to bring up another topic because it relates to me today. So, really funny story. Before I joined this call and before we got started in our recording, we're recording a little out of sync because I have to leave later because I will be watching Spider-Man Brand New Day with some friends. Yes. So that is why I had to change the time. But before that, I was like, it's let me go to a little bit of my backlog or just some of the games that I kind of forgot about. And one of them being Where Winds Meet. It's a really awesome free-to-play a wuxia game, with Chinese fantasy, martial arts, things like that. But I'm really I get very prideful as a gamer. I am playing on the hardest difficulty it has. And one of the funniest parts about that difficulty is if you go down in difficulty, you're not allowed to ever go back.
Oh, that's an interesting mechanic.
Yeah.
So, gotcha. So if you adjust
so if you go down, you're not allowed to go back up without making a new account. The refresh and everything. So because of that, I am on that, and I refuse to switch.
Refuse to back down.
I don't want the shave of backing down. And literally minutes before I joined, I was yelling at my screen. So,
oh, okay, that's good.
So I also
like you before the show. That would have been great. We could have had some great bonus content.
Yeah.
There.
So I also want to ask, like, has there ever been a point in while you're playing games that has, just made you scream at the screen?
Oh.
Like, are there any like memorable bosses, I guess, in video games that just come to mind? I guess for me it's a little easier because I did play Elden Ring and some of those other Souls games. But how about for you? Because there's multiple games that like are like that have hard to beat levels, and it doesn't have to be like a combat style game.
So for the biggest one for me that I can remember is the Kōhei from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm a huge Zelda fan, for those who might not know that about me, because I run an anime podcast, but I'm a huge Zelda fan. Love the Legend of Zelda series, and the Kōhei was something that it took me too long to figure out how to defeat it, because it's not a terribly difficult boss. It just requires a lot of precise timing and aiming yourself, and I have zero of those skills. I'm horrible at timing in video games, and I'm just horrible at video games in general. But I remember just rage quitting so hard. And it took me it took me an entire weekend with a good friend of mine who is very good at video games. I'm actually heading to that convention with, and it took us together to finally beat the Kōhei boss and move on in the series, because I wanted to play the rest of Tears of the Kingdom. I had gotten it for some present or something, or I'm trying to remember. No, I received it as a present. I'm like, I want to finish the rest of the story. So that's the one that comes to my memory, outside of the fact that I am playing. I have 2 save files right now for Echoes of Aincrad. It wouldn't be a show if we didn't talk about Sword Art, with the death mode. So for those who don't know, in the game, if you have the deluxe edition, which I do, you get to play from the beginning the game in death mode. So if you die in the game, your save file gets deleted. So that's been interesting. As somebody who has not done a terrible job of not dying, I have done so far so well, but I'm sure the rage quit day will come soon. But yes, I know rage quitting in video games is easy to do. That's an interesting mode. I love those mechanics though. Between that and like the death game mode, it's just, they're so creative. What will they think of next? Truly.
Yeah, I become like I become a crazy person. My friends were just listening to me play as I'm getting mad, and they just hear me close to my mic go, I could just delete this game. I'm the one in control, and then I just click retry after saying that.
But you can't give it up.
Next, man. I can't give up.
Can't give it up. That's defeat.
And the worst part is, it's at an optional boss. I don't have to fight him. I don't have to do anything.
No, it's about the title, man. It's about the fact that you beat the optional boss with the hardest difficulty. That's the true gamer moment. As cringy as it is to say now in 2026. But yeah, that's the true achievement right there. Oh yeah, I know how that goes, man. It's hard to give up. I was playing Breath of the Wild in Master Mode too. That was the only other mode. Master Mode is a lot harder, and it's fun, but man, it will make you rage quit hard. At least in my experience.
Speaking about the games, I think it would be really funny if, maybe for a special content or one of these episodes, what if we played a game together?
That would be fun. That would be great. We'll have to do that. That would be a fun bonus episode.
Specifically, what if it's a horror game? I think it'd be very fun.
Oh, you'll get some great reactions with me. I absolutely cannot stand horror, so that's a fun fact about me. So that'd be interesting. I will. You may actually. That is a good thing to keep as a bonus episode, because something tells me, SentinelSeiyu is not coming out of that situation.
be a bonus
fully
episode
intact.
because something tells me it won't happen more than once.
Yeah, exactly. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe to the podcast and consider subscribing to our Mega Otaku subscription so you can check out some of those extra scenes as well. Of course, if you're an adult. If you're a child, I don't know what you're doing here. This is an anime podcast. But yeah. Well, that's exciting. And yeah, great day to see films. You know, as we're recording this, it's been raining. It's been pouring all day, and I've been running all around the metro area today. And I love when it's pouring outside. I got drenched a few times, so that's always fun. So I got that going for me. But yeah,
we're moving into our last couple of minutes here. So moving into the next topic. What are your thoughts on the new, one-shot manga centered around, boy meets girl and horror to launch around August 10th by the My Hero Academia creator?
Yeah, this was interesting. And good way to segue. Look at that. We're training him. We're doing a good job of training him in his segues. But yes, My Hero Academia manga creator. Let me make sure I got this right. Kohei Horikoshi is coming out with a brand new thing that My Hero Academia fans might be interested in if you like a side of horror. Launching very soon. Don't laugh at me. Shinajima is combining the 37th and 38th issue in the Shushini's Weekly Shonen Jump magazine starting August 10th for those who are in Japan and are looking forward to something after the chaos that has ensued over there. The story is a boy meets girl horror manga, and it is launching from the My Hero Academia creator Kohei Horikoshi as part of a series in the Weekly Jump. Originally had started from July 2014 and ended in August 2024. It's being picked back up. He's added 38 pages of new content to the manga and the 42nd and final compiled book volume in December of 2024. So Viz Media is publishing it. There's a lot of fun stuff to look at. So for those who have not caught that on the weekly, of course, who don't have the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine for us in the States, we had a lot of fun stuff to look forward to as a part of this new one-shot manga. And I'm excited to see where that goes. Of course, Kohei Horikoshi has made the wildly successful My Hero Academia and the manga, and of course the anime adaptation. So good things to come for those who are interested in the series and are definitely ready for something exciting, something new. Yeah, absolutely. So, lots of fun stuff. What do you think, JT? Are you a huge Kohei Horikoshi fan? I know I will definitely be checking it out because it sounds interesting to me.
Check it out
because I am a fan of trash and I am proud.
I think it would definitely be very interesting to check out, especially since the anime market is kind of flooded with isekais and overpowered MCs right now. I think it'd be very interesting to check it out. And a boy meets girl like horror vibe. I think that's a very interesting premise. So I'm just kind of interested to see where it can go. At the top of my head, it has, it just from that description, it feels like kind of a Dandadan vibe potentially, except like a more, more serious, darker tone. And I think that'd definitely be really interesting to check out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a very unique direction, and it's a very different direction than My Hero Academia, so I'm thrilled to check it out too. And yeah, don't get me wrong, love Dawn to Dawn, wonderful series, but it'll be interesting to see how the serious aspect of that gets taken. So definitely very excited to see where that goes, and for those who are huge Kōhei fans, you got a lot of stuff to look forward to coming up soon. But we are, of course, getting close to the end of this show here on Life in Panels. We're trying a bit of a different format, so we're making these episodes a little bit more concise so that SentinelSeiyu doesn't ramble and also almost get himself canceled, as evident by previous episodes that you have definitely not seen, kids. But we got a lot of fun stuff. But yeah, it's been an interesting week. Things are getting calmer, but we are heading into, of course, the fall anime season, which all of us are. I'm really excited for it. Summer was wonderful. Lots of great shows that were coming as a part of that, and looks like fall has a lot more stuff to come. Of course, more isekai is coming. But something we did not touch on this week, but we will touch on, is Aaron is super thrilled that more horrible isekai slop is coming to shows and online platforms. Of course, Children in Another World with level 2 Super G powers is been greenlit for season 2, so we'll see when that comes out. But for those fans of the show, we have got something to look forward to, guys. So I am thrilled.
It's okay, and if you're not like me, no,
yes,
we have season 2 of Gachi Okuda coming. So.
Yes, and if you actually have good taste in anime, season 2 of Gachikuda is coming. I actually have to finish Gachikuda. That's gonna get me flamed. But it is a wonderful series, and I am excited to finish it. And I'm so thrilled that season 2 is coming out because I have more stuff to watch. I was actually really thrilled with it.
We have just enough time for fun, because you haven't finished Gachikuda. What do you think your vital instrument would be? What would be the item that you bond with?
Oh, that's a good question. What would be the item that I bond with?
Okay, as you think, I have mine.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I have this bracelet that I wear all the time. It's a big part of my culture. For those that you don't know my ethnicity, I'm Hmong. So we're a little more spiritual, and I wear this almost every day. So I think just because of that, inherently, I would connect with my bracelet. Kind of similar to how in the show, one of the items was like an object of a totem, a talisman, and how that became an item of protection, similar to this. So I definitely believe that's what I would connect to. What about you?
I would probably have to. Mine's horrible. There's like a Starbucks cup.
Starbucks cup.
Connect. I mean, I've wasted single-handedly probably more than a unhealthy amount of money at Starbucks, and that would probably be my go-to is bonding with a plastic cup from Starbucks. I don't know how I feel about it. One of those reusable cups, because I use those a lot. It's either that or like an iPad.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would have thought your iPad, one of those.
I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of. Is that or an iPad? And I don't know if none of those are good options. Aaron's credit card. There we go. Oh, well, on that bombshell, we are, of course, getting close to the end of the show here on Life in Panels. But thank you for joining us again for another week. We are glad to be back. We will have consistent episodes happening every week again.
Not promised.
Well, I am promising that because I am going to try to make that happen. We shouldn't have any more incidents now. But thank you for being with us in these early days and learning and growing with us. We love sharing our love for all things otaku, from video games to manga, of course, anime, and of course, isekai, because it wouldn't be SentinelSeiyu if it wasn't isekai. But thank you for joining us for the show. We hope you enjoy. If you have any suggestions to make this show better, we will have a Dropbox soon, so I will let you know about that when that comes out. But that's still coming. We're getting a TikTok. I think so it sounds and some new short form stuff.
Just let us know what your thoughts. Give comments on what horror game Aaron should play, and we'll go from there.
Oh, good. They're gonna pick something horrible, and I am ready. I am ready for that. So yes, but of course, we are getting close to the end of the show, so it's time for us to say goodbye for this week. But don't worry, we'll be back next week for another series to catch you all up with the latest in all things video game, anime, manga, and more. But to get us out of this show, I have lost the document on my computer. That is wonderful. I've gotten worse at using a computer as the years have gone by. But there it is. Here we go. So thank you for joining us for Life in Panels. We're glad you stuck with us today. If you want to stay up to date with our episodes and Life in Panels, you can follow us in your favorite social app at Life in Panels Pod. Still coming soon because I've been very lazy and I haven't done it yet. And you can visit our website, lifeinpanels.com, where you can find our Patreon page for those who don't have Apple Podcasts, if you want to see those bonus episodes. Otherwise, if you have an iPhone, you can subscribe right in Apple Podcasts. That, of course, the website again is lifeinpanels.com. Anyways, my name is SentinelSeiyu, aka Aaron, and that's
JT, aka Jason.
Oh, of course. That is wonderful. We gotta get you a 3D. We gotta get you a 3D one of those.
Yeah, I'm just gonna become a VTuber.
There you go. You should just
for these episodes. Yeah,
that would be pretty funny if we did VTubers. Okay, we got lots of ideas here on the show.
Lots of ideas and not enough money. That's Life in Panels.
Welcome to what happens when two college students try to make a podcast network from scratch. Almost out of college, for some of us. Of course, yes, of course, you've been listening to Live in Panels here. We are getting all derailed in the last few minutes here. It is an OtakuNET Original Series. Please send us money. We need it. It has been a pleasure to be It has been a pleasure to be with you today, and thank you for having us in your life. We appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Enjoy.
Wherever it may take you.
Oh, I completely forgot.
We're insane.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
All right, take two.
Okay.
Take two. Of course, it has been a pleasure to be with you today, and enjoy the rest of your day wherever it may take you.
Israel.
Hey, what can I say? Anyways, everybody, sayonara, everybody, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye. OtakuNET